I'm not sure if anyone still plays this game, but back when TerraTech released in 2018, it picked up popularity pretty quickly. YouTubers like Jacksepticeye, Sunday, Lathland, and others that I'm too lazy to dig up played it and the community loved it. In 2026 though, the game's kinda dead. But I've always found myself coming back to it and doing a playthrough every so often. And then it hit me. What do people do when they've played a game for long enough to be considered good? They prove it by fighting other players. Now, unlike games like Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Halo Free-for-Alls, or COD 1v1s, you can't really fight others in TerraTech. We don't talk about public creative servers. So instead, you create a speedrunning account and find the niche community of TerraTech speedrunning to find that there's only 3 categories. Alright, so it's either maxing out all licenses, which would take forever, maxing one license, which is more doable, or completing the tutorial. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the tutorial. To be honest, I first had to remember all that was part of the tutorial. I've been choosing to skip over it for so long, I figured a raw run-through was a good place to start. I guess ending with a 7:54 isn't the worst, but it's also 2 minutes behind record pace, so something has to change. I used all of my big brain power and my couple hundred hours to mathematically derive the best way humanly possible. It's launching the cab with my mouse. So I began the grind, got on my first run using the new cab method, and ended up still beating my previous time by 8 seconds. Oh boy, we have a long way to go. The following run, I got a 7:08, which was a 40-second shave. A couple runs later, I got a 6:38, another 30-second shave. And then I spent a gruesome hour and a half trying over and over and over again. And then it happened. There's a lot I haven't talked about at all with the speedrun, so I'll talk about a few key points over top of the run itself. The timer begins at the same time you press play. It takes about 40 seconds for the first completable action to happen, so while the dialogue is going on, I'm looking around at the nearest smoke column to give myself an idea of where to go first. I start by driving towards the closest smoke column, which spawns a forced enemy interaction. Right after the kill, I fling my cab to the smoke. The smoke columns are able to be done in any order, but doing the solar generator first means that I have more health to fight the radar thief later. I break this tree as quickly as I can and fling my cab right after I attach the battery. The radar thief is usually the most random aspect of the run, so him getting stuck is extremely lucky on my end. I throw myself back to the landing crater, and I build a little tech as quick as I can. The reason I choose to do this over throwing my cab is for 2 reasons. The first has to deal with collecting a piece of Iridium, and the second is for defeating the trader troll. Once the trade station dialogue starts, I turn to grab a chunk of Iridium. To defeat the trading troll, I wedge myself as close as I can and remove my back wheel to reach the cab with my bullets. After defeating him, the tutorial is pretty straightforward. You have to accept the mission and make 4 quick clicks to buy a resource collector. The resource collector picks up the Iridium, and then you sell that for 155 block bucks, which exceeds the required 100. The tutorial officially ends when the last dialogue begins to fade. I misclicked after accepting the next mission to prompt the dialogue, which reset the timer. The last visible time is 5:58:63, which when retimed comes to 6:02:54, which beats the world record by 8 seconds and 54 milliseconds. Thanks for watching. See ya, chumps.